G6. Just so you know, well, this video is for those who want to learn how to replace this lever here, and it's the drive neutral lever for the automatic transmission. So many times they just walk out and drop on the ground. Heard a lot of people say that, so Kirby needs to address, like putting a little keeper C clamp or something like that, C clip, or even just a cutout with a little piece of wire would be nice. You can see it's got the splines right here, and sorry about that. Just can't seem to get it to focus. I don't know what's wrong with this camera, but anyway, this little tip on the end, you can see it tapers, and then it has splines and tapers some more, maybe, and then it tapers even more. And that last little bit, you want to take a 3-corner file, or maybe even a hacksaw, and you want to put a little race about an 1/8 inch from the end. So you just itch it like that. I've already done the other one, so I'm going to let this go. Remember, this metal's soft. Don't overdo it. Don't crank on it. You'll snap it. Whatever. Be very careful. This isn't the other one, the other lever. I just put that back in. And you can even see how it shifts from drive. I don't know if you saw that in there, but it's kind of hard to see. You can see that thing moving back and forth as it shifts from neutral to drive. Okay, so that's how it works. This whole handheld, transmission is kind of cute, really. It's got the drive wheels on it. It's got a pulley for there's a belt that goes on there. Kind of cool, really. And so I'm going to reverse this. I'm going to take this back out and show you how this goes in and how to line it up with the clip. So let me get that out and we'll do that. Okay, on the bottom of the transmission there's a small bolt, and over here is a positioner plug that's on it's just a black stud basically, or brown, and it goes in that holes to help keep it lined up and stabilize it. So if you take this little short screw out, it's the only one on the bottom. There's 4 screws there, they're all the same size. They're torque 20, size 20 torques, and but this one here is the short one, and that's the one that holds this switching mechanism in place. So you can just pull it off as I just did. You can see the guts of the gearing, and really clever what they did here, except they didn't put a proper keeper on the end of that thing, so it keeps coming off on so many people. Mine was stuck in drive, so I was almost going to just leave it there, but I thought, oh well, why not? So here's the thing. To line this up, you got this clip here. I can't get it off now because I've got a little keeper on that Kirby should have put there. Right there's a little keeper, and what it is really, it's like a little C-clip. I would recommend getting a little C-clip, and you want to make a groove on, well, at least one side. This is really a very small lock washer, to be honest. I didn't have a C-clip, so I just squeezed this and pressed it in there into the race that I had made with the 3-corner file. So See, it helps to have special tools like this, you know, to squeeze things and position them, so forth. Now, like I say, this clip, I can't get it off now, but it has a slot. You can see the slot right in here. Let me see if I can line that up for you. See how it fits over. See that? This metal clip fits over. And then first you want to get the spindle through the hole in the other side and get that all lined up, and basically then put your clip on there. I'd already done it, so I'm not going to undo it and do it again. But now this thing is tricky. The way to line this wedge shaped thing up, which I'm sure all of you are wondering, is you line up here on the side of this plastic housing the drive button, you know, push it not that way but this way, so that it's basically in line with the plastic edge. And at that point, if you turn it over, there's the T, and that also should be in the line of the plastic edge. So you got the yellow lined up with the plastic edge, and you got the T lined up with the plastic edge. And that's how you line it up. So when you get that specific spline that's like this, with the drive button lined up on the bottom edge of the housing and the T lined up pointing, maybe not exactly, but real close to that same line. If you move it one tooth, it'll be off quite a bit. It'll be noticeably off. And then you tap that down. Once you get it started by hand, push it down by hand as far as you can. Maybe using your fingernails a little bit. And then you want to take some very light tool and very lightly tap it around until it seats. It has to go all the way down, in other words, okay? See that? It has to go all the way down. This sounds a lot more complicated than it is, really. So that's how that clip goes in there. It sits there like that, with that slot lined up both sides on top of that brown squared off shaft. And that's how you do it. Now if you got stuck in drive, you want to put it back in drive. So you want to have the drive thing down. If you got stuck in neutral and it came out, then push the neutral down and put it back in that way. Just makes sense, right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this in. It basically goes right in here underneath those two tabs. I don't know if you can see those two tabs there. 1, 2. There's 2 tabs. It goes underneath. That little ledge right there goes underneath. And I would try it now here, but probably I'll have to wangle with it a little bit. Okay, I'll try it. You want to get that, see there it is. You want to get that rod. There's a short stubby rod right there that helps line it up. Once you got that far, go ahead and put that short screw in, because you don't want it to fall apart on you when you're halfway done, you know. So that's my theory. Always put screws back in the holes they came from while you're working on other things, or label them, or put them in a separate box or bag. Label what it goes to, etc., etc. Hold on a second, I've gotten this goofed up. So there it is. And I'll put that screw in, and you can just hand tighten it. You know, you're going to snug them all up later. It's on the bottom, so it's easy to get to. But there it is. That's the shifting mechanism. Now if you look carefully, you can see it shift from neutral to drive and That's neutral there. If you watch that little slider in there, you can, whoops, see that it moves. It did move, it's just jerks and it's kind of hard to see it. See it? Okay. Alright, so now as I said, the transmission comes out the bottom. I've got this thing sitting upright on, there's the brushes down there, see them? So it comes out the bottom and it goes back in the bottom. The thing is, there's a couple things you got to watch for. One of them is this lever here. That's actually the on-off switch lever. It's silver. And you want to keep it up here so that when you put the on-off switch on, it goes in a hole there. Also, before that, even you have to get this belt lined up and on the sprockets. Sorry about that. It's a belt. It's not a very big belt. It's kind of puny, but it works. And there it is. You can see the belt is in place there. And you want to do that as you're putting it in from the bottom. Get the belt on the big sprocket first, and then push the transmission in from the bottom. And at the same time, keep that silver rod visible and get it on the upper sprocket and things like that. So basically, there's the silver rod, but it keeps wanting to go way up here or way down there. So you want to try to keep it right there. And the next piece is actually this on-off switch. Okay. And it, I don't know if you can see it from here, but I need something to point with. Yeah, here we go. See this little bar, and there's another little bar over here. Yeah, I guess you can't see that. There's another bar here, and then there's one over here. So there's two bars you got to hit. Or you can give up singing altogether. Whatever. Joke doesn't hurt, does it? Okay, so, and I'm taking a little bit of time with this. I know short and sweet's great, but you know, this is a little bit complicated, to be honest. It's not obvious to some people anyway. So the next step then is to put the switch here in those bars. There's these little clips, you know, you see those? And they can break. So don't break them, don't force anything, just get them on there. They just slide on. Oh, excuse me, see, there's a mistake right there. Okay, first you want to get the little silver bar in there, as I was telling you. But before you do that, you want to actually get this ready to go. See, now the bar's in. I don't know if you can see that. There's the bar. So you start over. Okay, put the bar in the hole. And then make sure this is underneath. And then hit those bars on the actual, you know, I think they snap in there. Let's see. Hold on.